Billionaire Dad watches. The Poor Waitress feed. His blind son, and changes her life forever. Tales. Sarah Miller was a struggling waitress in Lagos, balancing the harsh realities of life with a quiet strength that few noticed. At 28, she worked. Long, exhausting shifts at the Rusty Spoon Diner, a small but lively place tucked into the heart of the city. Her days were a blur of wiping tables, pouring coffee, and managing the sometimes impatient, sometimes kind customers who walked through the door. Despite the tired lines on her face and the weight she carried on her shoulders, Sarah never lost her genuine smile, a small beacon of hope in her world. Life hadn't been easy for Sarah. Raised by a single mother who had fallen ill, she dropped out of college to care for her younger brother and to make ends meet. The rent was overdue, bills stacked high, and every day was a battle against despair. But Sarah refused to let hardship break her spirit. Her kindness was her armor. One rainy evening, just as the diner was closing, Sarah's eyes caught sight of a small, drenched figure sitting alone on a bench outside. It was a boy no older than 7, shivering in the cold rain. Clutching a white cane tightly, his clothes soaked and sticking to his skin, he seemed utterly alone in the world. Despite the crowd rushing past, no one stopped to help. Without hesitation, Sarah pushed open the door and stepped into the storm. Kneeling beside him, she whispered softly, "Come with me." The boy hesitated, but then slowly stood, his trust resting on the kindness in her eyes. Inside the warm diner, Sarah carefully dried his face and hands, wrapping a napkin gently around his trembling fingers. She brought him the last hot plate of food, sharing spoonfuls with a tenderness that made the boy's lips curl into a small, shy smile for the first time that day. This boy was Jacob, the son of Desmond, a powerful CEO whose empire ruled the corporate world, but whose heart had been shattered by loss. 7 years earlier, Desmond's beloved wife, Amara, had died, giving birth to Jacob, who was born blind. Since then, Desmond had thrown himself into his work, providing his son with every material comfort, expensive clothes, private tutors, and the best care money could buy. But the emotional distance between them grew wider with every passing day. Desmond's grief had hardened him, turning him into a man of business and silence, unsure how to connect with the son he loved, but didn't know how to reach. That night, as rain pattered softly against the windows, Desmond sat in his sleek car, staring through the glass at the scene inside the diner. He watched as Sarah fed his son with a care and kindness he hadn't seen in years. Her gentle words and patient smile stirred something deep inside him, a flicker of warmth in a heart long frozen. Driven by a mixture of gratitude and curiosity, Desmond sought out Sarah the next day. Offering her a job as his human relations assistant, he presented her with a chance to rebuild her life. A steady income, a safe home, and a role where her empathy and strength would be valued. It was more than a job. It was a lifeline. Sarah stepped into a world she had never imagined. The sprawling offices, the polished floors, and the sharp suits were daunting, but she carried herself with quiet dignity. Not everyone welcomed her warmly. Some colleagues viewed her as an outsider, and Frank, a jealous board member, saw her as a threat. Frank's schemes to sabotage Sarah's reputation tested her resolve. But with Desmond's unwavering support and her own determination, Sarah stood strong, proving her integrity and earning respect. As weeks passed, Sarah's presence brought light and laughter into Desmond's home. She helped Jacob with his Braille lessons, filled the halls with music and stories, and became the bridge between father and son. Desmond, once a man of stone, began to thaw. He learned to smile again, to open his heart, and to embrace the family he had almost lost. One quiet evening, bathed in the soft glow of their home, Desmond confessed his feelings to Sarah. He asked her to become part of their family, not just as an employee, but as someone he loved deeply. After heartfelt reflection, Sarah accepted, and together they began to heal old wounds, building a future filled with hope, love, and belonging. Their journey was not without challenges. There were moments of doubt, fear, and adjustment. But through kindness, patience, and courage, they transformed their lives. Sarah's small act of compassion on that rainy evening did more than save a boy from the storm. It brought a broken family back together and opened doors to a new beginning. This story reminds us all that no matter how hard life may get, kindness has the power to change everything. Sometimes it's the simplest gestures that create the most profound miracles.